Hey, Jennifer Priest here to show you a really fun mini book that you can make with our July Christmas and July kit. So here I'm just cutting off one strip of those little journal cards to use in my mini book. This is for the paper bag book. And I'm taking the other papers and I'm cutting them down to 5.5-inch squares. So I'm cutting a 5.5-inch strip and then cutting 2 squares off of that. And that leaves me this little strip of scrap paper left over that I could use for embellishments or something else. Most paper bag books are 5.5 inches square. Some of them are like 5 by 5 or 5.25 by 5.5. So you might have to do a little bit of trimming, and you'll see that I have to do that on this book once I start gluing. So this little felt and paper bag book is included in the kit for this month. So in the July, Christmas and July kit from Hydrangea Hippo, and you could subscribe to our kit club over on our website for that. So you can see here that after I've glued that paper down, I need to do a little bit of trimming just to get it to fit. And this is because sometimes the paper bags aren't always exactly measured right, or they're squished a little bit. So just keep gluing those pages there on the paper bags. Now you can leave the flap side open if you want to, or you can glue that flap side down. I ended up gluing the flap side down on this entire book. It's up to you how you want to do it. So again, I'm just using a PVA glue. This is a basic white glue for bookbinding. You can use any of your favorite adhesives to do this. I like the bookbinding adhesives because they hold really, really, really well. So here I'm just putting my glue on there, adding my little papers, and then trimming as needed. Now, once all your papers are glued down, you're going to want to go ahead and paint or color those pages that don't have any paper on them. So here I'm just using some basic red acrylic paint and a foam paintbrush to paint those pages. Now, you have to let this dry before you can paint the next section, because the paint is wet and the pages will stick together if you just paint all the pages and then set it down somewhere to dry. So I'm just kind of messy painting here, covering all of that paper bag with the paint. I want to make sure I get a nice opaque coat on here. I'm going to go in and do some distressing with another color later. So it's okay if this looks a little bit crazy and bright, because I'm going to distress it later. After all your pages have been painted and they're dry, go in with some white acrylic paint, and here I'm just using some white on a foam paintbrush, and I'm kind of distressing all the edges, kind of making it look a little bit antique-y. You can see there where that page stuck to the felt. That's what happens if you don't let it dry all the way. And I'm painting some of the white felt as well as those red painted pages and my paper pages. I wanted everything to kind of have this little bit of a frosty, like weathered wood type of look to it. And you get that by doing a dry brush technique. So I'm putting some of the paint there on my mat and then dipping my brush into it and kind of patting it to get a little bit of the paint off. So once that paint is dry, you want to go ahead and start decorating. So here I'm taking one of those little cards that I cut, and I cut out of the sheet, and I use pinking shears to cut the top and bottom edges to make it cute. I'm going to hot glue these little tickets on here, and then hot glue my little journal card there. And I'm also going to hot glue one of those wool felt cardinals that came in the kit. Everything is included in the kit that you see in this video except for the adhesive, the paint, and the foam paintbrush. I'm also going to take this really fun pom-pom trim and tie it around the spine of the book. So you want to open it to the middle page, and then wrap your ribbon around and go ahead and tie it. And this is just going to add a fun kind of dangly, woo-hickey thing to the spine of the book. And I really like pom-poms for Christmas. I think it just makes it a lot of fun. Now you can add more trims. You can wrap them around the middle, or you can just tie them to that ribbon that's wrapped around the twine of the book, or ribbon wrapped around the spine of the book. So I'm just tying some lace onto there and making that into a little bow so that that looks cute, and just adding some more embellishments. This is one of the beauties of doing these kind of books where it's a sewn binding, because you can add a lot of ribbons and things once you've tied that one ribbon around the middle of the book. So again, I'm just tying a bow, making it look cute, and trying to figure out if I want to use some of this green ribbon or what I want to do. So usually I'm just kind of experimenting, going what goes here, what goes there. I just put some hot glue here on the edge of this page to add this pom-pom trim. The reason I'm using hot glue is because this book is going to get handled a lot. So I really like to use hot glue in my mini books so that they don't fall apart, especially if kids are handling them. And then that way too, the repairs are a lot easier. I just got to get my glue gun out. So here I'm taking some cupcake liners, and what you do is fold it in fourths, twist that little point on the bottom, and then kind of unfold it a little, and it makes this roughly little flower shape. And you can kind of squish it back together in the middle to make it a little bit smaller. So I just did a double layer of those cupcake liners. Again, those come in the kit, and then I'm going to add a little button there to the middle to make it look kind of cute. So now I've just added a couple other little buttons there right along the side of that edge. And I'm just kind of folding, you know, opening different pages and seeing what kind of fun stuff I could put where, what'll kind of wrap around here, or what goes good there, and just kind of going with my gut to see what I think will look good in different places here on this book. So here I'm just putting a strip of hot glue, and I'm taking that green polka dot ribbon, which comes in the kit, and just kind of doing a little pleated ruffle here with the hot glue. And I trim the ends with pinking shears, again, to keep that little pinked edge theme going on throughout my book. And press that to let it dry and get flattened. And then on the back side here, I'm going to add a little bit of lace that also comes in the kit, just again to add some interest and also to help reinforce those ruffles there on the back. So here I've added some more lace, some sequins and flowers, and a little gingham fabric flower there on the side. And you could add your journal cards if you want, kind of layer those underneath photos, or you could leave it nice and open so that you have room to put bigger pictures if you wanted to. So here I'm just going to glue some little feathers there, this little gem that's from the kit, a tag, and just some other bits and baubles from the kit. So everything here is pretty much color coordinated, and you can kind of layer things and you know, stack them on top of one another. Again, I put one of those little cute beads there that was on the cover. Here I'm going to use a sticker tab that comes in your kit to add a little tab there to that page. And then add a little journal block, and I'm just cutting this journal block out with the scissors. So you don't have to use a trimmer if you don't want to. You can kind of freehand cut your journal blocks out if you choose to do that as well. And I'm just going to layer these up. So you don't have to use them separately. You can layer them. You can you know, just do whatever you think is going to look the best for your project. So here I just added some hot glue, and then I'm going to add that note to self right on top. Again, with the hot glue, I'm not so concerned about this being archival because paper bags aren't really archival, and these kind of things will fall apart they'll fall apart from touching before they fall apart from acid or anything like that. So here again, I'm adding that journal block right onto the felt, tying a fun little bow onto some of that ribbon. You can just get really creative and kind of have fun and experiment with different ways to use your embellishments here, and to try some different things, try different techniques. You know, maybe you did a bow on one page, you do a ruffle on another page, so just get creative with it. Here I'm adding some buttons. Again, I like to do that kind of little button border where I got the randomly placed buttons on the side there. I really like using buttons in that way. There's also some sequin flowers in this kit that you could use to kind of add a little bit of that scattered fun little embellishment border to your book as well. You know, just adding that's a little strip of paper that came from when I was trimming the pages to fit. So you could use your little scraps as well, you know, add some embellishments. Here's a little pennants that come in the kit, and I'm making just kind of a mini banner right there. Again, just using my hot glue for that because the hot glue is quick and easy. Taking the last of those tickets, adding it to that last page, and that's going to kind of help hold that flap down. And then here I'm just adding another journal block. So super easy. I hope you really enjoyed this project. You can pick up the July kit over on the Hydrangea Hippo website, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you again soon. Bye. Christian Ballard.